The Supreme Court chamber froze last night when Chief Justice John Roberts laughed at Elon Musk. What happened next? No one saw coming. A legal twist so bold, it shattered courtroom norms and flipped the internet on its head. Add on-screen CTA. Where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you crave courtroom shockers like this. The Supreme Court chamber went silent, then cracked with tension as Chief Justice John Roberts laughed out loud. The sound echoed off marble and minds. It was not just a laugh. It was a challenge, a dismissal. He had just heard Elon Musk defend his position in a high-stakes legal case, and he found it amusing. His smirk was sharp, his tone even sharper. Musk, standing at the center of it all, stared straight ahead. The crowd in the gallery reacted instantly. Some gasped, others leaned forward. A few whispered to their neighbors, eyes wide with disbelief. Court officers glanced at each other, sensing the weight in the air. A low buzz swept through the room. Phones were lifted just below eye level, quietly recording what felt like the start of something massive. Musk stood calm. He did not blink. Instead, he leaned forward just slightly, his voice low but clear. Laugh while you can. That one line sliced through the air like a blade. Cold, measured, sure, and in that moment, the courtroom shifted. I could feel it. The crowd held its breath, not knowing what would happen next. What Musk did after that would not just stun the gallery. It would flip the courtroom. It would shake the internet. This was no ordinary day in court. This was the beginning of a spectacle. Before we go deeper into what really happened, where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. And if this twist has your jaw dropping already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. There is more coming, much more. So why was Elon Musk in court in the first place? This was not some routine business hearing, or a quick settlement behind closed doors. This was the Supreme Court, and the case at the center of it all. A high-stakes patent dispute over a controversial new AI technology. The tech was called neural transfer mapping, a breakthrough system designed to replicate human thought patterns into machine learning cores. Some experts claimed it could be the future of communication. Others warned it could spark global surveillance issues. Either way, it was big. Big enough that the legal system had never seen anything like it before. The question was not just about who owned the rights to the technology, it was about how law would treat artificial intelligence moving forward. If Musk won, it could set a global precedent, one that would change how companies, governments, and individuals interact with machine intelligence. If he lost, it could lock the doors on future innovation for decades. And here was the twist. Elon Musk chose to represent himself. No hype legal team, no row of attorneys whispering in his ear. Just Musk, a sleek tablet, and a confidence that made even seasoned lawyers nervous. He said it was a matter of principle, that nobody could defend the vision better than the one who built it. But inside the chamber, not everyone was impressed, especially Chief Justice Roberts. Roberts opened the session with a dry line. Mr. Musk, you are a CEO, not a litigator. That sentence hung in the air. It was not just skepticism, it was a challenge. One Musk seemed more than ready to answer. If you are enjoying this legal roller coaster already, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. There is no telling where this case goes next, and you will not want to miss a second of it. The courtroom settled just enough for the real exchange to begin. Chief Justice Roberts leaned forward, eyebrows raised, scanning the legal brief that Musk had submitted. He did not waste time. His voice was calm but carried a quiet sting. There are holes in your argument, Mr. Musk. Gaps in citation. You reference precedent, but your interpretation is unconventional. There was no need for shouting. His tone cut deep on its own. Roberts did not believe Musk belonged here. Not on that floor. Not under those lights. Not without a legal team behind him. You are not a lawyer. He continued, you are a CEO with an opinion and a microphone. The room shifted again. Small whispers moved through the gallery. Some leaned in, others glanced around, waiting for Musk's reply. Court officers lowered their hands to their radios, already sensing that this hearing was anything but ordinary. Elon stood steady. His eyes never left the bench. He was quiet for a second, almost letting Roberts' words hang in the air, untouched. Then he spoke. I built the laws of tomorrow. I will defend them myself. The words were not loud, but they landed like a punch. Direct, measured. He was not trying to match Roberts in formality. He was matching him in authority. Roberts raised an eyebrow, unimpressed. So you built the future. That still does not give you standing in this court. That was when Musk stepped forward. Then let me give myself standing, he said. I will flip your court, Chief Justice. Gasps rippled across the room. The words were bold, maybe reckless, but they stuck. Some in the gallery grinned. Others were stunned silent. Officers looked to one another, unsure whether to intervene or just keep watching. What was clear in that moment was this. Musk was not backing down. He was just getting started. Chief Justice Roberts leaned back in his chair, shaking his head slowly as Musk adjusted the tablet on the podium. You are dreaming. Mr. Musk, he said, voice cool but laced with sarcasm. This is not TED Talk Thursday. This is the Supreme Court of the United States. A wave of laughter rolled through the gallery. It was not polite or controlled. It was raw and real, like the crowd had been waiting for someone to finally poke the billionaire where it hurt. Even a few of the clerks struggled to hide their smiles. For a moment, it felt more like a stadium than a courtroom. People were reacting like they were watching a championship fight. But Musk did not flinch. He did not break eye contact. And then, he smirked. That small, knowing grin spread across his face. It was the kind of smile that comes right before the unexpected. He leaned forward, steady, calm. Then let me wake the law up. You could almost feel the silence fall again. It was sharp, like the air had been cut out of the room. Musk tapped on his tablet, pulled up a file, and held it up for the court officer to see. I am filing a live motion. Right now, in this courtroom, on record, under Article 42, Emergency Intellectual Defense. The justices blinked. One leaned forward, clearly confused. Even Roberts paused. Filing a live motion was rare, unheard of in this kind of case. It was something used in wartime tribunals or national security emergencies, not patent disputes. Musk continued like he had done it 100 times before. This technology is too important to be trapped in outdated law. If the court cannot see forward, then I will bring the future into the room. The gallery was now dead quiet. The mood had flipped again. From laughter to silence. From insult to suspense. Roberts adjusted his glasses. He looked down at the motion, then back up at Musk. Things had just changed, and everyone knew it. Musk tapped his tablet again, this time more deliberately. The screen flashed, then displayed a document with a gold seal watermark. With a quick swipe, he uploaded it directly into the court's electronic system. The motion was now part of the official record. It was not just bold, it was something else entirely, a kind of procedural jujitsu that most people in the room had never seen before. The document referred to a nearly forgotten 1998 Supreme Court ruling, one that allowed emergency technical motions to bypass oral hearings under very specific conditions. It had been written long before AI was even a real legal issue. Most believed it only applied to national crises or federal security disputes. But Musk saw something different, a backdoor, a legal anomaly buried under 2 decades of untouched precedent, and he had just kicked it wide open. The courtroom erupted. Some people clapped without meaning to. A few legal observers started whispering excitedly, trying to explain what just happened to those around them. Phones lit up again, this time not to record but to search for that obscure case law. Others were not convinced. Some scoffed. A senator in the back shook his head and muttered, "This will never stick." But Musk stood firm. This court cannot claim to lead if it refuses to adapt, he said, voice steady. The law is not a wall, it is a window, and sometimes, it needs to be cleaned. Roberts sat up straighter. His expression tightened. We are not playing Silicon Valley chess here, Mr. Musk, he said coldly. This is not a tech summit. This is the United States Supreme Court. Musk did not reply. He simply folded his arms and waited. At that moment, the power shifted. Maybe not legally, not yet. But something in the room had changed. The court was no longer only reacting to Elon Musk, it was responding, trying to keep up. And Musk. He looked like he had planned it all along. Roberts leaned forward. He adjusted his glasses, then pointed toward the screen. You are basing this motion on a case that predates the digital era, he said. That ruling refers to federal security, not private innovation. Musk did not flinch. He let the silence hang for just a second, then replied with a cool nod. That is not wrong, he said, but it is incomplete. You missed the in Section 3, Paragraph 2. It broadens the scope to include any technology affecting national infrastructure. That includes neural AI transfer. A low hum swept through the courtroom. Some people gasped quietly. A few others whispered, confused or surprised by the sharp legal turn. Even those who doubted him earlier were now flipping through court files, scanning through precedents, trying to catch up. Roberts paused. His face did not show panic, but the crease between his eyebrows deepened. He knew the subclause existed. What he had not expected was for Musk to quote it word for word. You came here armed, Roberts said quietly. Musk tilted his head. I came here prepared. The gallery visibly split. One side leaned in, almost rooting for Musk. Now the other side stiffened, still loyal to tradition, watching Roberts like he was their last shield. Suddenly, 2 court officers stepped forward. Not aggressively, just enough to restore balance. Maintain order in the court, one of them said, loud enough to cut through the tension. The room settled again, but the energy was different now. This was no longer a hearing, it was a clash of worlds, one driven by precedent, the other by precision, and right now, both were standing their ground. Musk tapped once more on his tablet. The screen behind him lit up, projecting a multi-tiered diagram, dozens of linked cases, each one connected by precedent, language, or shared legal outcomes. It was a matrix of law, built by algorithms and verified by his own legal AI. This is the case law foundation, Musk said calmly. Each node here supports the motion. No breaks, no weak links. The room went still, even the clicking of pens and rustling of papers stopped. For a moment, all eyes shifted from the Chief Justice to the screen. Roberts leaned back, eyes narrowed. He scanned the matrix. Each name, each ruling, seemed to box him in tighter. He looked toward the bench, then down at his desk, then back up at Musk. You are overstepping, Mr. Musk, he said quietly, almost under his breath. Musk did not blink. His voice stayed steady. I have already stepped over. The silence cracked. A ripple passed through the crowd. Someone in the gallery let out a sharp exhale. Then a second person stood. Then another. The chant started softly. Leon Roberts gave a quick glance to the officers, but even they looked unsettled, unsure if what was happening was protest or celebration. The room was changing. The courtroom no longer felt like a chamber of rules. It felt like a proving ground. Musk stood motionless, letting the matrix stay on screen, letting the moment hold. This was not a victory yet, but it was no longer just a hearing. It was a shift, one that could not be undone. Roberts sat still for a long moment. The screen behind Musk had gone dark, but its impact still echoed across the courtroom. The Chief Justice tapped his pen against the bench, not looking at Musk, not looking at the gallery, just thinking. Then, finally, his voice cut through the room. Your motion is noted. We will proceed. He did not raise his tone. He did not argue, but those words hit harder than any gavel. Around the room, you could see it. The shift. Court officers turned to each other, unsure if they had just witnessed procedure or revolution. A few whispered into their radios. Others just stood still, eyes locked forward. The gallery stirred again. Some leaned forward, some sat back. Phones were already recording. It felt less like court and more like the final move in a match. Musk adjusted his jacket.com and confident. I said I would flip it, he said. I just did. No one argued. They could not, because somehow, against every expectation, Elon Musk had just turned the court into his platform. The courtroom doors opened wide, and out walked Elon Musk. Grinning.com, holding that same tablet like it was a trophy. Outside, the crowd erupted. Reporters rushed in. Flashing cameras lit up the hallway. Questions flew from every direction, but Musk just kept walking. No rush, no panic, just that same quiet confidence. He gave one short comment before getting into his car. Courts move slow. I do not. That was all it took. Minutes later, his words were trending. The quote became a banner headline. On X, it shot to #1. A wave of reactions followed. Some called him arrogant. Others called it historic. Then came the memes. Elon, the lawbringer, supreme flipper, and the fan favorite, a deepfake of Musk in judge robes, swinging a lightsaber gavel. But the real shock came from legal analysts. On cable news and social media, their message was clear. Musk did not technically win a case. What he did was more dangerous. He changed the story. He made the courtroom feel like a tech demo. He made the law look like it was lagging behind. And just like that, a single hearing turned into a cultural moment. Some said it was chaos. Others said it was genius. But one thing is for sure, this was not law versus tech, that this was legacy versus legend. And legend walked out smiling.